It's Kendall Anise, the Remix Coach, and welcome to Reviews and News. All right, I'm not going to be before you long, for real. Not like the preachers and the pastors be like, I'm not going to be before you long, and they're before you long. I'm jumping in and jumping out. Hi, everybody. All right, so if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I was sick in between, so it prolonged it. But a couple of weeks ago, I did a review on The Later Daters. Michelle Obama executive produced the show, and it is on Netflix. So I'm back to give you episode 6, 7, and 8, and that is the finale. There were 8 episodes in season 1 of The Later Daters. Why do they call it The Later Daters? It's because it's people who are dating in later ages from 60 on up. Let me give you a sample of, let me give you part of the trailer so you get what I'm talking about.
What do you imagine?
Single female looking for Prince Charming, hot Italian.
6 silver singles are about to go on a series of blind dates, but they don't have to go it alone.
So do you think your mom's easy to date?
I'm gonna get this dating coach. Oh, she's here.
I'm here to help people become better daters.
I need help.
All right, Nate said, I need help. I got my notes right here because I'm going to go quickly through the episodes and tell you what happened at the end. If you watched it already, you can follow along. But if you haven't watched it, hopefully you will. Y'all know I am the host and creator of Remixing Relationships as a life coach. I've been doing this thing for 20 plus years. And I'm 50 and over. So this was right up my alley, talking about relationships and talking about relationships with people of a certain age. So, all right. So I'm just going to jump right in. So episode 6 was called Shiver Me Tenders. And it opens up with Anise. And definitely watch part 1 so you know who these people are. Anise, she is 63 years old and she is dating Willie, and that's where we leave off. And she says shiver me tenders because every time she sees Willie, she gets the butterfly and it's in the googly goggly eyes. So Anise says, shut up, but keep talking, because he is 6'3". All right, so they're starting to like each other. The date is going good. Compliments are flowing. They were talking grown talk about traveling abroad, sharing travel stories. And that's what grown people do. He's a little younger. He is in his late 50s. He liked that she was educated. He wasn't intimidated. They exchanged numbers. Willie was asking for a second date. Now, the reason why it's good that he wasn't intimidated, because if you remember the last review, and if you watched The Later Daters, a lot of men were intimidated about what she does and the education that she has. And Willie wasn't stunted by it. He wasn't blinking. He said, I love educated women, right? So he definitely wants a second date. They look really great together. It is clear that they have a love connection, and it's clear that they're going to see each other again. He asked for a second date. He did not wait. He did not call. He was like, I'm gonna need that second date now. So she meets with her daughter and gives her the update on Mr. Willie, Big Willie. So she kept saying Big Willie, and the daughter was like, you do know what that means. And she was like, what? He was tall. His name is Willie, Big Willie. She was like, you do know what that means. And it means private parts, right? Big private parts, right? So she didn't know. She was like, oh my God. So the cutest thing is Anise and Willie were FaceTiming. They FaceTimed each other. And they were like little kids. And I love that, because I love the show because it shows the example of older people dating. We ain't no different than anybody else. We still want love. We're still giddy and fun and laughing, enjoying each other and enjoying ourselves. And they show that. She talks about that. And she's recap. And so then we go on to Nate. And Nate is recapping his date with Michelle, with his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend is always there, always walking in, a part of this process. So he liked Michelle's vibe. Nate was avoiding and self-sabotaging. He says he wants a woman, but then he always seems to find something wrong with the woman every single time. And then I have to ask, do you really want a woman, or do you really want the woman who you had the child by, who was your ex-girlfriend, to keep coming at the house? Right. And we're going to find out some things, but keeps coming at the house. Right. So it's like, if your ex-girlfriend is always at your house and she wants to hear about all your dates, you say you don't want to date each other because you're not compatible, but you're compatible to some point because your ex-girlfriend and your child's mother is always there. She was looking at him cray when he was like, oh, something was wrong with her, or there's something. And she's looking like there's something always wrong. You know, he's a freak, he's OCD, he got a problem. And we're going to find out how Michelle, it may not work out because of that issue. So I'm just running through these quickly and we're going to be done. This is not going to be as long as the first one. All right. So she ends up, so who do we have next? We have Pam, we have Lori. Let's just talk about Lori. And then we also talk about, we're talking about the later daters. And Lori, so she likes to call herself Rich Aunt Lori. And it's on Instagram with her black glasses, her trademark, and she's talking about that. So Lori goes out and date with Martin. They go candle making. It seems like it's going to be good. They both discovered that they liked, that they went to Jamal Bryant's church, New Birth. That's Jamal Bryant's church in Atlanta, who took over for Eddie Long, who used to have Empowerment Temple, Jamal Bryant, in Baltimore, where I used to go. So they're looking at each other like, we know each other. They both figure out that they go to New Birth. And I know that Lori has a lot of Jamal Bryant on her page, and she does a lot of events there. She's a media entertainment interview. I'm not sure exactly. She's just in the entertainment business. She's always somewhere doing something, interviewing people, hosting parties. So she's doing her thing out there. So she goes out with Martin and she's looking at him already like very picky, because she likes that guy Felton that she met that jumped in her DMs. But we're not sure if Felton likes her for anything more than just a friend. And she's always being put in the friend zone, and she's trying to figure out why. And she's trying to figure out if Felton, who was not actually on the show as part of the date setup, but is somebody that she already had her eye on. So Martin seems like he would be a nice catch, but up to speed with Lori. So Martin never been married, has 3 kids, 6 grandkids, and he's an ordained deacon. That lifestyle may not work with her lifestyle, because she's always in the entertainment business limelight. And that's the first thing she asked, like, would you be able to keep up with me? You know, you might be a little too safe for what I need. So she asked if he liked outgoing women, and he was very buttoned up, and probably too buttoned up for her. She's an celebrity correspondent. That's what she is. That's what I put in my notes. And he is going to, so Lori is talking about her upcoming birthday, and she's has a birthday party coming up, and she actually asked if he wants to go. Now, this is the thing. She really wants the guy Felton, the gray beard, bald hat, you know, the black man's uniform once you get over 50 years old, right? And he could not make it. So she invites him just to see how he's going to navigate in her world. And he said, sure, I'll go. He'll go to the party. She mentioned it, and he said he is down to go. So we have Pam, and she's that Pam is the wild card. That's 70 years old. She looks great. She's like a wild child, flower child. She hasn't dated in a long time. I don't want to recap from episodes 1 through 5. So if you haven't gotten that, definitely go back to look at that first, my first Later Daters review. This is for episodes 6, 7, and 8. And then that's the end. So I'll tell you what happened at the end. Pam talks about the third date with Dwight, the granddaughter, and she likes Dwight. She's going to reach out to Dwight and talk to him, but she might be a little too out there for Mr. Dwight. Mr. Dwight is somebody's pop. He got his own business. He's doing good for himself. He's kind of even spirited. She's like all over the place. And that may not work. We're going to find out if it does. And then Suzanne Alderman, like Suzanne, 63 years old, full of life. She's going out with Avery. Her and Avery are like moving fast. And she wanted to slow down because she wanted to see somebody else. She just didn't want to go with him. So she tries to go out with a date with Jeff. Jeff is 59 years old. And I sent a picture of him to my boyfriend who just turned 60. And this guy is 59. And I was like, he didn't look 59. He looked older than 59. She was 63 and she looked younger than him. So they go on a wine date, and which was cute and seemed to have, things in common. But I really was surprised by his age. I put that in my notes. And she wants to go on another date with him just to see how things move about. All right. So episode 7, and I'm just going right through, it's called Taking It In. It starts with Suzanne, her daughter, and her boyfriend, and they recap on the last date with Jeff. She's just like, you know what, let me just go on another date. So she goes on another date with Jeff, the 59-year-old, and on her boat. Now, let me tell you, this lady got it going on. When you're sitting on her porch, you can see the water, and she's very well established. She's very comfortable in, her home life and the things that she does. She's very active, and someone would definitely have to come in, and they have to be very secure, because she really technically doesn't need a man per se, as she's saying, but she would like one. But she still has a full life without one. And then we go to my girl, Anise. She is 63. That's the older Black woman who is dating Willie. She's recapping with her daughter and the coach. She fawns over Willie like she is 13 years old. She likes Willie, and Willie likes her. They Googling in each other's eyes. The first date, they like, what we waiting for? Like, we don't need to date nobody else. But what I thought was interesting and special, Anise begins to cry, right, on this episode. And she says she wants to be her full self. She's 62, not 63. Wants to be her full self, and it's time. And I've had this conversation, back to my boyfriend, and he's like, he wants to really discover his true self, and he's 60. She's saying the same thing at 62. Like, she wants to be her full self. She wants to be who she is called to be. She doesn't want to have to dim her light. She doesn't want to have to dim her shine, right? And she's looking for a man who can accept all of it. Her and Willie get to talking on FaceTime again. They talked for 2 hours. And she gets ready for another date with Willie. She don't need to go on anybody else. So they end up going on a sports date. They go on a nature walk. So now they're both dressed down. They're not dressed up as they've been. They're dressed down, and it's a beautiful nature walk. They connect. That energy, they have a soul connection. You can feel it coming through the screen. And I'm going to do some research to see if they are actually still together. I know that they are. I said I need to get on their Instagram pages. But Anise says she'll be free. She just wants She said, I just want your name to be said. Because she was saying, Willie, Willie, Willie. Like, I don't want nobody else. She said, I just want your name to be said. So I'm going to say it. And I'm going to keep saying it. And I was like, okay, at 62, you ain't got time to be playing games. You don't have time to be, and he's in his late 50s. He's not playing games either. He's like, this is it. Like, what we waiting for, and that's what they came on. They fit in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. They don't have time to waste. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly who they want. And what's the point of waiting to see and going on 50-11 dates when they already know what's going on, and they feel it. They feel the attraction. They feel the connection, and they're ready to roll with it. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I'm going to show you this clip one more time so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the later daters on Netflix.
What do you imagine?
Single female looking for Prince Charming, hot Italian.
6 silver singles are about to go on a series of blind dates, but they don't have to go it alone.
So do you think your mom's easy to date?
I'm gonna get this dating coach. Oh, she's here.
I'm here to help people become better daters.
I need help.
And that's Nate. He said he need help, and he got to help. God helps those who help themselves. And he finds something wrong with everybody. And they set him up with some nice women, even Anise, but Anise wasn't for him. She was for Willie. But they set him up with some very good looking women, very accomplished women, and he could find anything. He could find a needle in a haystack. And he's like, it's like he keeps self-sabotaging, but you come on the show to want someone. That's why I keep circling back to that ex-girlfriend. That's probably from the last episode. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. That makes me realize, or makes me think, that he's gonna get back, or he's gonna try to rediscover some things about the ex because they're a little too close for comfort. All right, so where do I want to go? Oh, so we have Greg. Greg is an older white gentleman. He recaps with the coach. He said that, he wasn't sure if he liked the date that he was going on. She might have been a little too forward for him. So he wanted to try a second date with Sherry, who was 60 years old. He was attracted to her right away. They had a good vibe. She was well-traveled, adopted 2 girls. She wanted a man, but I think she was a little too refined for him. He needed a little more culture. My daughter and I were watching it together, and we said that at the same time. Like, he was too beers and chips, and there's nothing wrong with beers and chips. And she was very cultured, well-traveled, very refined, and he was not. And when she was talking about the things that she was into and the things that she was doing, it looked like he just wanted to scratch himself down there. Like, he just was like, he was too much of just a regular guy who may go to the bowling alley on Friday nights, and that's the highlight of his life type thing. Not to say that is, and she was, so I was like, that's not going to work. And the coach talked about online dating and updating, with older people. And they talked about how it's different dating now and some of the things and tools that they have now. They weren't there when some older folks were dating. But it's so interesting when I think he realized that the new lady was over his head too, Sherry, who is 60. So he circled back to Kelly, who he had went on the original date with. See, this is the thing. These people are snatching up people. These older people don't think that they're going to just be sitting and going out to pasture and just be sitting there single. Like, you ain't interested, you blink your eyes, somebody else got your woman, somebody else got your guy. So after he realized that the other lady was too cultured for him, too, refined for him, he was like, let me circle back to that first lady. And he tried to do that, and somebody already got your girl. So he missed his shot with that. He was taking too long to think about it, and she done moved on. These people are intentionally dating, but I think he really wasn't intimidated by Sherry. All right, so Nate, he is part of the show. So now they show him with his daughter and his child's mother, who is the ex that I was talking about. He's always there. They're all cooking in the house. They're there with the family and grandchildren. And Nate was like, while they were there, he was texting somebody like, I think I'm going to try to go out with them again. And it left a cliffhanger. So we'll find out this final episode who he decided out of all the women to go out with again. But there's still more. All right. So Lori, we're wrapping up episode 7. So Lori is with her stylist and she's preparing for her birthday party. Again, Felton, the guy that she likes, the guy that got it going on, I think he had his own wine business and some other things. He jumped in her DMs and on Instagram. So she's like, I'm not sure if this is the friend zone. Where are we? And she's going to find out. But it's Rich Aunt Lori's birthday party. Martin comes. Remember the deacon from New Birth. He comes. And he comes with gifts. He comes with flowers and gifts. And she's like, okay, he came in right. He looked nice. He came in. And they actually look good together. But it's during her party. And he's like, I want to spend some time alone. She like, dude, we having a birthday party here. I'm the host. I'm the birthday girl. I got to mix and mingle. So I was like, yeah, her celebrity correspondence life ain't going to work for him because he wanted to find a quiet spot in the corner as she's celebrating her birthday and everybody is there for her. She can't do that. So he was like, okay, I think I'm going to get out of here. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. And her kids said her mom's personality is too bold for him. And I must agree. And there was no connection. He might need a nice little deaconess from the church or somebody who ain't want to do a lot of things. They just want to sit and look at him all day. And they go get a quiet meal and go back home and maybe, watch Wheel of Fortune or Netflix. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Rich Auntie Lori ain't it. She's too much for him. That's not going to work. All right. So this is the final episode. Told y'all this one was going to be quick. All right. So episode 8. And as I was watching, I was like, oh, wait, this is the last episode. It's called One More Little Aha Moment. That's episode 8. So it opens up with Anise. Anise is still out there with Willie in the nature. So you got their kissing by the waterfall. The scene is set. They're sitting on rocks. They look, when I tell you they looking in each other's eyes, I was like, should I be watching this? All they saw was them. They probably forgot that they were on national TV, on Netflix. All they saw is them. They just kissing and hugging and rubbing all by the rocks in the water. You can hear the tranquil sounds. I mean, I'm happy for them. At Finding Love After 60, I'm happy for them. He's in his late 50s. She's 62. And it was just black love just oozing all off the screen. I was watching like this, like, am I grown enough to be watching? And they were, when I tell you, looking into each other's eyes and touching and loving and smiling and giggling and all that, cackling. I was like, yeah, they're in it. So then we go to Nate. The Nate that said he needs help. The clip that I just showed y'all. Nate is 56. He done been on four blind dates. And remember the cliffhanger in episode 7, he was texting somebody. We find out that it's Michelle, of course. That has been his best date to date. So Michelle comes in her red, looking good with her braids, puts them up in a bun. They're at some comedy. It looks like they're at a comedy show. But ain't but 5 people in the place, but it's like little tables. They come, they're sitting there talking, then they go outside. She orders a pizza. He got his food. She got shrimp pizza. He's like, I'm allergic to seafood. She was like, what? You can't? And he was like, no, you can eat that. I can't. So then I was like, okay, here we go. He's like, he can't do it. And he's on a date together. And he was like, I liked you. I wanted to go back because you were feisty. She was like, I am. And he was like, yeah, because you just, and remember what I said in the last review, that she's just herself. Like nobody got time in your 50s to be somebody's different. And she's very outgoing, very bubbly, very, I'm going to say what I feel, very comfortable in her skin. And I think that's what he liked about her. They had a little cute banter, and then Nate started sabotaging. They talked about, expectations that both would probably have. And he's very rigid. And he said that he's very rigid. In the beginning of this series, he says that he's OCD, he's a neat freak. Like he can't, if it's a crumb on the table, he's going to zoom in on there and see it. Like he sits on his couch like this because he ain't messing up nothing. And it's not lived in. So Michelle was like, so if I'm going out, I might try on 3 dresses, right? And I'm not messy or I'm not dirty. I like to clean, but if I'm running out and I'm running late, then I might leave 3 dresses on the bed. And he was like, you mean you won't clean those up before you leave? You're going to leave the, and she's like, yeah, he said, but I will come home and I'll make sure I hang it back up. But if I'm trying on different things and I don't have enough time, I might leave it. And soon she said that, I said, oh, I said, that's all he needed. He was waiting for a reason not to date anybody but that ex. And he ended up doing it. And that was it. That was it for Michelle. As soon as she said that, and he was like, she was like, but what do you mean? He was like, no, you would have to clean it up. And he was acting, and she was like, what? She was like, are you OCD? And he was like, no, I just don't, And I was like, oh, I said, they almost was getting ready to get into an argument. And he's very, very rigid. And it'll take another, I don't know if another rigid person would work for him, but they both going to be sitting here like this. They're going to be scared to wrinkle a shirt and move a pillow. Like if I went like this and moved like this, he would have a fit. He would have a fit. And it's not free enough. And he was honest with Michelle about that. And then he was like, yeah, that's probably not going to work. She already knew that. But then Michelle didn't want that kind of pressure either. So then we go to Suzanne. Suzanne, even though she thought Avery and her were moving too fast, they start recapping and she ends up going out with him. So Lori is rich Auntie Lori. She's looking for a man. Remember I told you she liked Felton, great beard. He ain't even part of the show. He just dumped into her DMs before this show started. And she wanted to know where she stood with him because that's who she really liked. He got the bold colors on, the hat, the beard, the glasses. He got a lot going on and she likes that. She thinks that that's fresh, right? So Lori is sitting there and Felton FaceTimes her. He says, hey, I didn't come to your birthday. I'm sorry, I missed your birthday. I'm flying to Atlanta. Can I take you out? So she's like, when? And he's like 5 o'clock. She's like, oh, let me go get ready. Let me go get cute. Cause she like the one that she likes is coming in to take her for her birthday. Now he could have been in Atlanta for something else, but to her, he's coming to Atlanta to take me for my birthday. So I thought she was going to get real dolled up and she looked cute, but she just had like a black sweater and some pants. And he had on bright green, everything. He had on a watch because green is my color. He had the watch that I have. It's a green watch. He had like a green hat. He had like a green leather shirt, jacket kind of thing. He had the glasses on. He had all the accoutrement. And she was loving that. And she finally asked, she was like, are you interested in me when you jumped in my DMs? Were you interested in me romantically? Because I really like you and you know that I like you. And he put her in the friend zone. And he was like, because Lori like is a little loud, right? And I think she was a lot for him. And that's why the kids you saw in the clip that they ask, I'm gonna show you the clip again. So the young people in there, the brother and sister, and Lori is the one with the glasses. I'm gonna show you. And they said, do you think your mom would ever find a date? This is who I'm talking about.
What do you imagine?
Single, female, looking for Prince Charming, hot Italian.
6 silver singles are about to go on a series of blind dates, but they don't have to go it alone.
So do you think your mom's easy to date?
I'm gonna get this dating coach. Oh, she's here.
I'm here to help people become better daters.
I need help.
That's Nate saying he need help and he still need help. But Lori those were her kids and they're like, do you think your mom would find, And that's because she's very out there, very loud, very opinionated. She has that type of job too. So it's not going to be impossible because somebody's going to snatch her up. She seems like a nice lady, but it's the people that they on here. But she liked that, and he had the earrings and the gray beard and the all the stuff, right? She asked him, she was like, well, did you jump in my DMs because you wanted to date me or you just wanted to be a friend? And pretty much he wanted to connect with her because of business benefits. And he said that. And I was like, and she was like, okay, I can get that. But she really did like him. But she got her answer. And then we see Pam. Pam is the 70-year-old with Uncle Dwight. And they decided to be, just friends. And it was a great connection. So then they go fast forward 2 months later. So Suzanne and Avery are still dating, going strong. Avery said he likes everything about her. And they are in sync and they're talking and looking like, so it looks like two couples are really going strong. And of course, Nate is not. So Nate tells his ex that, do you know she don't hang up her clothes, telling her about the finishing the process of the dating. And he said women are ready to lock in and he wasn't ready to lock in. But I'm like, dude, you came on a dating show to find a woman. Of course they're ready to lock in. That's why they came. That's why they're there. So because Michelle leaves the clothes on the bed and stuff, he said, let me circle back to Lisa, because that's the other girl he kind of liked. But I remember I told y'all in the last review that he was mad that her adult children still lived with her. So he was like, she's not a good one. But after he realized, he tried to circle back, honey. Lisa, 2 weeks later, she was in a relationship. These 50-something, 60, they're not playing the games. They know what they want. And he was like, ooh, she's in a relationship. Yes. He's like, women want to be locked in. Yes. Some of the guys want to be locked in. Yes. You the only one that came on a dating show, Nate, and you finding everything wrong with everybody. And the coach was trying to help him. So Nate still wants his person, and he looked at his ex. So remember I told y'all that Nate's ex is just always there and stuff. So he was like, I still want my person. And then he said, I'm single. Then he looked at his ex. He's like, and she's single. That's what we've been saying the whole time, Nate. Y'all just need to be together. Y'all always together. Y'all got a child together. That's your ex. You telling her about all the other dates. She's single. You're single. She said that y'all really not compatible, but y'all like each other to some point. That she coming in. I know she can't go in your refrigerator. She done known you for 30 years, 20 something years. She got ready to touch your refrigerator just to get soda. He was like, did you ask? I'm like, whoo, it's going to take a special woman to handle that. And that ex might be that one. So then lastly, I'm going to close out with Anise and Willie. This 2 months later, they are still going strong. They are loving on each other. They are locked in for real. They make a good looking couple. The melanin is popping. They are fly. Like they both are fly. They both are dripping opulence and money and richness and brown tones. And I want to go to Atlanta just to hang out with Anise and Willie to get some of that. They're still going. And guess what, y'all? Anise done met Willie's mama. At 62, she's meeting mamas. The mama was taking a selfie with her. Willie was like, they just connected. And I thought that was good. The mom and her vibe, they locked in. They're googly eyes, connected for real, giggly. And I love it. Kissing. They done met the mama. So they're going to be, I need to check on Instagram, see if they're going to be having a wedding soon. And I would love to be there. And Lori, she wants a man, to learn about. She did make a love connection, but she's still hopeful to make a love connection. And all of them said that they grew, they learned from this process, even if there's two couples that made it and a few that didn't, but they still learn from the process. They're still open to love. They still want their person and to be locked in with that. So overall, it was a great experience for them. It was it was entertaining to watch. Again, I loved The Later Daters on Netflix. Michelle Obama executive produced it, so you know she was going to have quality people on there. And I loved it because there's so many dating shows out there. Everybody is looking for love. Y'all know I'm remixing relationships, and it's $1 billion business, and not just a business. People want love. Everywhere you turn, somebody wants somebody to call their baby, or somebody wants their person, or somebody wants to be in love, locked in, and connected with somebody. So I pray that this show, The Later Dater, gets a episode or season 2, because I can't wait to see more older people, 50 and over. Y'all know that's my sweet spot, dating over 50. Before I got into a relationship, I was doing videos on TikToks on what the experiences were like with some of these dates. So funny, some of the things that were out there, you know, dating, and just the differences in people. And you could, if you follow me on TikTok, the Remix Coach, scroll, some of those are still on there. Some of them are on my YouTube channel. But if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Kendall Anise, and I'll have some more reviews and news up there for you guys. I review television shows and series, movies. I do a lot of concert reviews, live concert reviews, and a whole lot more. So check that out. The playlist is reviews and news, but there's something on my channel for everybody. So I just want to take a moment, because I promised to do the last 3 episodes of The Later Daters. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. Peace. You are watching Reviews and News. Don't forget to subscribe.